Hi, I'm Pastor Barry, and I want to welcome you up north, where we invite you to come away with Jesus to a quiet place. Today, we're going to be learning about Jesus calming the storm. It all started with Jesus and his disciples, his very best friends, in a boat. But suddenly, a storm came up that was so big and so powerful that the disciples were afraid that the boat was going to sink. They were very scared. But thankfully, Jesus was with them, and that made all the difference in the world. Camp counselor Jeff is going to share that story with you, but first, he's going to talk a little bit about boats and what they are and why they are important. So now we invite you to join the gang as we go up north.
A boat is a vehicle that can float on top of the water in order to transport people across a river, a lake, or even an ocean. Now, without a boat, a person would have to swim in the water, and that could really get exhausting very quickly. Boats, they come in all shapes and sizes, from giant cruise ships to small canoes and kayaks like we have here. There are numerous examples of boats and ships in the Bible. The most famous one, of course, is Noah's Ark. But also there are stories of Jonah and the whale, Simon Peter and the fishermen, and now the story that we're going to talk about is Jesus and his disciples crossing the Sea of Galilee and encountering a deadly storm. Being on the water during a storm of any kind can be scary, especially if a lot of water gets into your boat and starts to rock it and possibly sink. The Gospel according to Mark, chapter 4, verse 35. On that day, when the evening had come, he said to them, "Let us go across to the other side." And leaving the crowd, they took him with them in a boat, just as he was. And other boats were with him. And a great windstorm arose, and the waves were breaking into the boat, so that the boat was already filling. But he was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. And when they woke him, they said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" And he awoke and rebuked the wind and the sea. And he said to the sea, "Peace, be still." And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. He said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with a great fear and said to one another, "Who then is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?"
The disciples were scared and didn't know what to do. Their boat was going to sink. But thankfully, Jesus was with them, and that made all the difference in the world. There are many things that scare us. Maybe you've had a bad dream and woken up in the middle of the night. That's scary. Maybe you've heard adults talk about things, or you've seen things on the news that scare you. We all have things in our life that frighten us. But we remember that Jesus is always with us, and that makes all the difference in the world. We remember that Jesus is bigger than anything that might scare us, and that makes all the difference in the world. As Christians, we don't need to be scared because Jesus is with us and he is in control. That's a good thing to remember. That's it for now. And I invite you to take a look at your sheets where there's discussion questions and activities to continue the conversation about Jesus calming the storm. And thank you for joining us up north.